More than 50 people test positive for coronavirus at a nursing home in Corbin. We'll bring you the latest details. And workforce and labor officials testify to Kentucky lawmakers on why it has taken unemployment benefits so long to go to Kentuckians.
We'll see showers and storms return this week and some soggy weather on the way as well. I'll have a look at that weekend forecast right now at 6.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Will Puckett reporting from home on this Friday. Steve Hensley has the evening off. We begin at 6 tonight with a breaking news update out of Corbin. Health officials in Knox County confirmed 55 new cases of COVID-19 at a nursing home in Corbin. This is all happening at the Christian Health Center on Commonwealth Avenue. We are told 47 residents and 8 staff members tested positive for the virus. The health department says, quote, nearly all are asymptomatic at this time. We are still looking to learn more on this story. We will, of course, keep you updated over on WYMT.com as well through the WYMT mobile app. Well, 256 more Kentuckians have tested positive for COVID-19. That is according to new numbers this afternoon from the state. As of today, 14,859 people have been infected. Governor Andy Beshear announced 7 more deaths from the virus earlier today. At least 553 Kentuckians have died since the start of the pandemic, but more than 3,700 have recovered. Now, thousands of people received in-person unemployment assistance over the past 2 weeks, but Kentucky lawmakers were told today that more than 50,000 people will need help to get their claims resolved. More than 6,000 alone haven't been paid since March. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has details on new help coming their way.
Kentucky lawmakers say they've been asked to do something.
Started out with frustration, and now we're to the point of desperation.
An interim panel meeting apart from a legislative session, but wanting to hear what has gone wrong and why so many are still needing help.
Coming out of the recession, there was a significant amount of UI staff over the past 10 years. That's been depleted primarily because of funding.
The cabinet deputy secretary also said former Governor Matt Bevin chose to do away with in-person help. A law was filed to restore that, but it failed. Yet lawmakers say with thousands still needing help, more could still be done.
Of not being able to feed their kids and losing everything they have than they are of the COVID, and we did not even bother to consider that when all these decisions were made.
In-person unemployment help will finally branch out from Frankfort starting next week, and it'll arrive here in Somerset and in Hopkinsville on July 7th. That localized in-person assistance will last at least 2 days. Somerset's mayor says that's welcome news because they too are fielding a lot of calls for help.
Dozens for sure that are still concerned, and you know, look, what are they supposed to do if they don't have those benefits and they're forced to not work? You know, how are they going to pay their bills? And so lawmakers and leaders admit that we are in unprecedented times, but say more could have been done and faster. And simultaneously, we didn't add those human capital assets to handle this wave that's coming.
Lawmakers say bottom line, they believe in the minimum, at least communication could have been better. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, in-person unemployment help will be offered by appointment only. Well, new at 6, a police official in Harlan County could face up to 30 years in prison after a civil rights investigation by the FBI. A federal grand jury indicted Cumberland City Assistant Police Chief Kenny Ray Raleigh on 1 count of unreasonable force by a police officer and 1 count of obstruction of justice. He is accused of punching and kicking a man repeatedly while he was lying down during an arrest and ordering an officer to charge the man with resisting arrest to prevent a civil rights complaint. We reached out to attorneys representing all defendants in both the criminal and civil cases and have yet to receive a response. A trial in the criminal case is set for August 25th. Well, COVID-19 has made everyone adapt and change how they do things. Most people relying on technology now more than ever. This is also true in foster care. With no visitation, they are relying on Zoom and FaceTime. WYMT's Emily Bennett explains the changes in services.
NECO is just one of many companies helping to place children in foster homes. But because of COVID-19, that process has changed. People looking to be foster parents go through a several-month process of home visits, paperwork, and training. Now workers here at NECO are doing that virtually so they can continue to place kids in homes during this pandemic. When children are placed, case managers visit the kids in their homes several times a month. Now these visits are over the phone, which is a challenge for kids to understand. And case manager Ashley Costello says the pandemic has been hardest on the teenagers.
They're out of school, they don't have the peer support that they're used to. They rely on their friends to get them through stuff. You know, they've got questions or they're going through things. They want their peers there, and now they're not in school, they're not having as much contact with them. So I feel like it has impacted them a lot as well.
Workers here at NECO have done drive-by parades for the kids, and they are starting to do social distancing visits outside their homes. In Martin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now tonight at 11, Emily will have more on this story. We will hear from a foster parent about the rewards and challenges of bringing in a child.
Saw lots of sunshine today. Get out and enjoy it, because as we head into the next couple of days, we're going to start to see that sunshine go away, and we'll see more showers and storms move back into the mountains. We're going to take you up, though, to that UVA-wise camera where you've seen that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day, but really seen a lot of sunshine, though. Mostly sunny skies, just a few clouds here and there. And as we look over into Whitesburg, sun is shining brightly into downtown. 82 degrees, dew point right around 57, which means it's pretty dry out there. So it is actually feeling like the lower 80s, even though if you go outside, especially in that sun, it feels pretty hot out there. A lot of us are on the warmer side across the mountains. 86 in Hazard, 85 in Prestonsburg and London. A little bit cooler wise at 79 degrees, 82 if we're looking down into Harlan. 85 though over into Middlesboro. Upper 60s though for tonight. We'll see temperatures drop only into about the upper 60s. Mostly clear, a few clouds here and there, especially by the time we get into the early morning hours on your Saturday. Pretty nice evening though, so like I said, get out and enjoy it. Showers return this week. And then we're going to see some soggy weather return, especially as we head into that new work week. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
Alrighty, Paige, thank you. Well, the U.S. is seeing a dramatic rise in new coronavirus cases. A surge in the South and West sent the number of new infections to an all-time high of 40,000 cases. Some states are pulling back on their efforts to reopen. The governor of Texas has ordered all bars to close, and in Florida, no one will be allowed to drink at bars. And California's Governor Gavin Newsom says the surge could stop reopening in some counties. Health officials say a number of new infections are coming from younger people, including here in Kentucky. Olivia Russell explains why.
Kentucky is just days away from phase 3 of reopening.
When things reopen, numbers go up.
Dr. Ryan Stanton is reminding people to continue following CDC guidelines for social distancing as larger groups are allowed to gather. He says people need to be more aware of potential ways to spread the virus.
Staying away from that little bowl of peanuts on the top of the bar, that's going to be a good first step in terms of preventing some of the spread.
He says behavior in bars is what concerns him, especially with the age group bars attract. According to the state's COVID-19 dashboard, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s account for most of Kentucky's total confirmed cases. The numbers in those age ranges have even increased in the last month. But when you look at the deaths by age groups, you'll see those age ranges don't compare to the older groups. Dr. Stanton points out that even though there are many more younger patients, the good news is that they're less affected by the virus.
Because that patient population tends to tolerate COVID-19 better, less risk of admission to the hospital, less risk of intubation, and less risk of death associated with it.
But even though that group is less at risk, he's reminding people that the virus could easily spread to a loved one who can't fight it off. That's why as Kentucky reopens, we need to keep the basics in mind.
Wearing a mask, social distancing, washing hands.
In Lexington, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
Starting Monday, restaurants will be able to increase capacity up to 50%. Groups of 50 or fewer people can gather, and swimming pools can reopen. Well, many restaurants that were once closed due to COVID-19 are beginning to open back up. Shenanigans in downtown Hazard opened their doors on Thursday. WYMT's Lacey Roberts talked with the owner about how business is going these days.
I did kind of expect to be busy. I didn't expect to be that busy.
Michelle Combs, owner of Shenanigans, opened her doors Thursday to a pleasant surprise.
Of course, I shut down on April the 3rd and just now coming back.
After almost 2 months of shutting down.
Actually, I stayed open as long as I possibly could. Had I not actually started to lose money, I would have stayed with it. But it just wasn't economically feasible for me to stay.
With only 2 employees, including herself.
Within 40 minutes, there were 5 of us. And it was all we could do to get the orders out. And for a little place like me, a 40-minute wait's a big deal.
The orders flowed in.
Thank you for calling Shenanigans. How can I help you?
Crazy busy. I actually got quite a few new customers.
Menu items include unique choices.
Grilled peach and honey panini.
With a meaningful background.
This is a very, very salad. All the ingredients in here are either locally sourced or house-made.
Like, for instance, this is homemade jelly that I use to spice my honey.
Also unique, gluten-free options.
We change everything, like the cutting boards, the knives. There's no cross-contamination. We have panini griddles just for that. I don't use fryers. If I fry anything, it's air-fried. Everything's done right here on the panini grills. I don't have an oven.
But more than anything,
I just like people to like my food. I don't have any real expectations. I come in and I take it day by day.
Knowing either way, the community will show up and show out. In Hazard, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
Now Shenanigans offers delivery and pickup. Combs encourages people to call ahead. That way they're not waiting in such a small space for too long. Well, events and festivals are being canceled or postponed left and right, but a few in the mountains are still pushing forward. One of those is the Manchester Mountain Music Festival. The festival in downtown Manchester is still scheduled for August 27th through the 29th. Organizers have been working with county health officials to come up with plans. The event will have workers wiping down public surfaces every 20 minutes, along with other social distancing procedures. Organizers say the event means too much to the community to postpone or cancel.
We've lost several businesses in Manchester since March, and this festival weekend alone, we always boost our economy for the entire year 60%.
Now, the festival is free to attend. Trucks and other vendors are still expected to be on hand. Well, a new boutique hotel is open in Pineville, but the COVID-19 pandemic did not stop the owner from finishing a months-long project. WYMT's Dakota Maker spoke with the owner and brings us a thrilling story.
Lisa Gregory is a chiropractor and the owner of Boone Trace Inn. She has worked on renovating her new Airbnb boutique hotel since October.
I just really noticed the amount of people that were traveling on 25E to go to other places or come here and go hiking.
This sparking life to a new idea.
To open this Airbnb for just a really nice place for people to stay.
Her office was shut down due to COVID-19, which gave her a more hands-on role.
I was here pretty much every day with the workers, the contractors, trying to get anything they needed.
Making sure the project was on time.
If they had any questions, I wanted to be right here so it didn't slow down the process at all.
Watching the hard work pay off.
I love every time someone comes in here and they see it for the first time. I mean, their reaction is just, it makes me so happy.
Waiting for her first guest to enjoy the labor of love. In Bell County, Dakota Makeris, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Gregory says you can rent a room individually or the entire space. We will have a link to book your room over on our website at WYMT.com. Well, on Monday, Kentucky will be in phase 3 of the reopening process. By then, every industry open to some capacity. That includes movie theaters. But as theaters work through guidelines to keep guests safe, they also face a different challenge: what to show. Nick Oliver explains why one movie theater is turning to the classics to bring back some moviegoers.
The changes at Moorhead Cinemas start with the movie posters outside, from the classic like Harry Potter to the 1970s thriller Jaws. You won't find any new movies. That's because they are still in Hollywood.
We need something big, something for everyone to come out for.
Manager Daniel Todich says they and small theaters across Kentucky are at a standstill since reopening, waiting for restrictions to be lifted in California and for studios to push their films out once again.
With the lack of new releases, it's definitely impacted business because a lot of the movies that we are currently showing, you can watch at home on Netflix or anything else. I guess excitement is what's missing, because as exciting as it might be for myself or yourself or anyone else for something like Goonies or Jaws or Empire Strikes Back next weekend, it's still not the same as coming out for, say, Black Widow or A Quiet Place 2 or something big that you've been looking forward to for a year or two.
People are showing up for some of these classics. Of course, maybe not in the numbers that managers here would like to see, but they do say some people are showing up that haven't been to the movie theater in years, all to take in their favorite classic.
We actually really enjoy people coming out and getting that little 2-hour burst, so it's kind of nice to be here and offer something for people to come out.
The theater says for now they will keep showing the classics, all in hopes something will change soon. In Moorhead, Nick Oliver, WKYT.
Now, the theater has issued several safety protocols to keep guests safe. They also have been able to access small business loans, in which they say has been a major help. When we come back, Paige will have a look at your weekend forecast that's shaping up to maybe be a little soggy. We'll be right back.